Today I visit with Paul Woronecki from Lincoln, Missouri, the outskirts, I guess we could say. And I'm Rick J., and this is Spotlight on the Arts. Welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. Again, I'm Rick J., coming to you from the Lamey's Building in Sedalia, Missouri. I'd like you to join me in welcoming a young artist that's come a long way from a beginning point to a major level of artwork. So if you would, welcome with me, Paul Woronecki. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Thanks, Rick. Glad
You're
to be here.
very welcome. Very welcome. Good to have you here. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while since we met, I think, at the Liberty Center here at a reception, and I learned about your past activity with the brush or whatever, and I had to jump on that real quick. So I'm really happy to have Paul here today, and we'll share more in the second part. Just why I'm so happy about that. Well, this is your first time here on the Spotlight on the Arts, so I've been looking again forward to it. So I'd like to first to ask you to fill us in a little bit. Tell us a little bit, if you can, about Paul Woronecki.
Well, Rick, I was raised in Columbus, Ohio. On the west side of Columbus, Ohio. And about 4 years ago, we moved down to Lincoln, Missouri, where I started my business, Hover Graffiti, which is, I'm a professional graffiti artist / mural artist.
I see. Now you said we moved. Would you like to say hello to someone that is part of that we?
My wife, Raquel, me and her moved down here together.
Great, great. Raquel is working the camera and sound today, and I sure thank her, and we'll make sure it's noted that she gets the credit for that. Can you fill us in your home roots in Ohio? Family, you have brothers and sisters you want to mention? Mom and dad?
It was just me and my mom for the beginning of my life, and then my mom remarried, and I have 3 brothers and a sister.
Do you want to say hello to them?
Hi, Aaron, Jared, JP, and Sarah.
Great, great. Well, you know, we go worldwide, and everyone seems to have a family, but there's always a story behind that. Already it sounds like you had an interesting childhood and growing up, maybe a little challenge here and there through it all. Well, okay, well, great. Can you share with us how you became inspired to become an artist?
As long as I can remember, I've done art. So there wasn't a time that I didn't. My mom was always super supportive of my art. She let me draw all over my walls as a kid. I never once got in trouble for it. So she was always very supportive.
Excellent, excellent. Well, again, I have to jump in. I tell the story often here on Spotlight on the Arts. We all seem to start as a child, giving that freedom. We have that passion, starting young. I even think it went back to the days of the cavemen. You know, one guy said, "Hey, you guys go out there and kill something so we can have something to eat. I'll record it on the walls here." Well, what continues to inspire you as an artist? Recently here in Missouri, I guess.
I always try to go bigger and better. I'm very inspired by taking an image of something real and making it look just as real on something else.
Yes, I see.
I think that's so much fun.
Yes, so he talked about bigger and better, which we're going to talk about here in the second part. It's sort of an introduction now, let you know to stay tuned. Okay, well, that's great. Paul, your artwork, as we're putting here on the timeline, speaks well of you. Some of the shots we'll put up and save some for later. You have been doing some of Paul's artwork, so stay with us. There's a lot more. Well, before time gets away from us, can you give us your contact information as in case someone would like to have some artwork done by you naturally on a commission basis?
I have a website, havregraffiti.com, HAVRE graffiti.com. I'm also on all the socials at Havre Graffiti. On the website, there's a form you could fill out that also has all my contact information, my phone number, and everything. So that's the best place to
Great.
get out.
Well, Paul, we must take a break now, so please make yourself comfortable and look at these couple messages. After the break, Paul will fill us in on his favorite subject matter, the materials used, and his special ways of completing work of art with maybe any special technique that he uses. Maybe you'd like to share that with you. So stay with us. There's a lot more here on the Spotlight on the Arts.
This facility doesn't look anything like it did when I first saw it. My very first job was right here making Levi's for the J.A. Lamey Manufacturing Company. The people who I worked for were great. It was hard work and it was brutal, but the family that owned the building were fair and honest, and they were great to work for. I worked here 7 years. My father worked here 21 years, and my mother 10 years. And it was just a great place. I've never regretted it.
Welcome back to Spotlight on the Arts. I continue my conversation, our chat, with special guest Paul Woronecki out of Lincoln, Missouri. Well, Paul, before the break, we shared a lot of information, so let's continue along those lines of thought and expression. I would like to have you share now your story revealing how you actually came into art, your career, shall we say, beginning, and how it has led you to being one of the most recognized artists in Central Missouri.
Well, when I was about 13, well, first, where I grew up, there was a train yard very close to my house, and I constantly would see trains go by every day, and I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. I would sit out and just stare at it, drawing in my book, try to copy it, whatever, and then as I got older, when I was about 13, I really zoned in on it and started hopping the fence and putting my own artwork up on those trains.
So you would be known as a tagger.
As a tagger, graffiti artist, yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Excellent. So you hop the train and start doing your own art.
Yep.
And now, so how many trains did you do a day? Was you sitting there most of the time out of summer?
I
just
mean,
catching every train going by?
Well, spray paint is very expensive. So as a kid, we didn't have very much. So we didn't get to do as much as we wanted to, but we tried to be out in the yard at least once a week.
Excellent.
It was sometimes as a group, sometimes we do it by ourselves.
Did you join a group, or did someone follow you? Did certain ones follow you?
No, it was kind of just our group of friends kind of got into it together.
Right.
I was more of the more serious ones about it.
Yes.
To others, it was just kids tagging trains. But
now, as those trains went by, you probably saw the artwork.
I have every train. I've painted probably over 100 trains, and I have never once seen it go by after I painted it. It's always been gone. I don't have a picture. It's just out there.
But you did see other artwork going by. That maybe inspired you?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was getting at.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yes, great. Well, now in that tagging reputation, have you ever had any feedback? Like, I used to love to watch the trains go by and look at the tagging as an artist and what it meant to maybe that person, what was the message, what it meant to me. Did you have those same feelings? Did you ever gather in what that person that tagged that train as it went by was trying to show? Or
I think it's a little different than that.
Okay.
For us, it was just leaving our mark.
Okay.
We were writing the same name over. We all had our own names, and we would write the same name over and over again. So we weren't really trying to say anything. We were mostly just saying we were here.
Okay.
We did this. I did this.
That's the way my paint. I still sign the paintings. So I thought, well, I have to. Can we reveal, by chance, your tagger name?
Which one? I had
you
the
had
one
both?
when I grew up writing, and then when I went the more legal route, I changed it.
I see.
So
And
right now it's Havre, Havre.
So that's where the Havre comes in your email, etc., and on Instagram or whatever.
It's a Norse word for safe haven.
Safe haven, which is Havre. Safe haven. So you was hoping you was in a safe haven every time you Havre. Well, now I will be looking for Havre every time a train goes by.
Well, you won't see it on a train. I've never
never
hit a train with it.
Well, so what did you tag?
Urns was the one I did most, ERNS. I had a weird idea that it sounded cool, like the urns when somebody dies, but it's spelled completely different. It made no sense. It was just a cool word.
I see.
I'd write that name on the trains.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'll start looking for urns.
But Rick, I had to change because Back when I was in my early 20s, I was getting caught for spray painting, and I couldn't continue getting caught. So I completely quit. I stopped writing graffiti for about 10 years until COVID started. And then when COVID started, my wife bought a bunch of wood, and we built a wall in my backyard. And I painted that. She has never seen my art before until then. All she heard was stories of the good old days of writing graffiti. She saw how good I was, and when we moved to Missouri, we decided to change that into a business and make money doing murals.
Yes. And then at that time, you started using more the identity of Havre.
Havre, yeah. When my business started, I changed to Havre. That was the beginning of Havre.
Excellent, excellent. So now he's well known throughout the area. As you see on the timeline, we're sharing now some of the larger, like you said earlier, likes to do bigger and more, I guess you should say. So now you can see why I was so excited about having him chat with you around the world about his artwork. Now as a major business, beautiful work going on in central Missouri. And we're hoping that someone might be interested in getting a hold of him, doing that mural for your hometown, small town, big city building, what have you. So you do, what do you do now? Basically, I've seen trucks, buildings.
I do a little bit of everything. Pretty much if somebody has a surface that I can put spray paint on it, I'll do it. I'm like a tattoo artist for your wall. If you have an idea, I'll figure out how to do it, and I'll put it on there.
So they submit the idea to you, and you see what you can do to incorporate that into...
Yep, I work with people's budget and
Right.
figure out how we could make a beautiful piece of art.
Excellent, excellent. That's great. Well, can you point out where maybe some of these are located in the area or outside the state of Missouri?
Recently, I did a piece in El Paso, Texas, at a art festival. It was it was so much fun. It was right across from the border. It was a lot. I have a couple here in town.
Sedalia?
In Sedalia, one on Main Street and one on Ohio.
Okay.
I have one at Cole Camp School. I have a big one there.
Now, I see you often at a meeting when I can make it at the Sedalia Visual Artists Association. So that's great that you can be part of that and come to the meetings once in a while like me.
Yeah.
So that you're spreading your shall we say, your story with others, and so that's great.
Thank you.
Do you find the SVAA somewhat helpful in getting the word out?
Yeah, I've met quite a few people. I met a guy from the Dom Museum. He helped me get a job through the Airstream company. I painted a canvas for them.
Yes.
It's now hanging in the CEO's office in Ohio.
Great.
We been talking about doing future projects on some of the walls downtown.
Excellent.
Looking real forward to.
Fantastic. Now, I always ask your process. It seemed like you got an idea, like we talked about earlier. Now, can you, those that might be interested, just how that comes about as an artist now? I mix colors. I have to lay down this. You got to look at the perspective, layout. So how do you begin a project on let's say a wall?
I will take a picture of the wall and overlap it so you see what it looks like before I paint it, and then I just match it as close as I can.
Excellent. Now, would you be in a position of sharing, if someone wants to get started, at least try it out? Have you any encouraging words or tips, techniques or something that you would want them to kind of adhere to so they don't mess up at first?
Well, in graffiti, you're gonna mess up. There's no getting around it. It's a skill that you just can't pick up and be decent at. You have to practice.
You have to practice. And I guess there's no mistakes really.
Well, the good thing about spray paint is if you make a mistake, you just paint over it.
Yes.
So
super.
Every mistake, you just paint over it.
Yeah. He somehow has the control over that paint can. I think you'll agree. Well, Paul, can you step us through the process of completing a project? Do you first begin with a sketch or photos or what have you?
First, I'll talk to the client, figure out what their idea is. Then I'll go home and draw it up. And I will do it digitally so that the customer can see it overlaid over their wall so they know exactly what it's going to look like. And then once all that's approved, I order the paint. All my work is 100% spray paint. Then when the paint arrives, I primer it up and I match the picture as close as I can.
I see. And you say there's no blending, you can't blend, you can't mix colors.
You can't mix colors. All spray cans come in that color, so I use multiple. So for every one color, I use 3 or 4 shades of that color.
Oh, so it looked like a kind of a blend from one part of the painting to the next.
Instead of mixing colors, you have to blend colors.
Oh, you blend colors. Oh, excellent. Good to know. Well, if there's one technique or process you would like to share with the viewers, the ones that might want to be trying this, what would that be?
Just practice a lot. You will never get it right the first time. You'll have lots of mistakes. Just paint over it and continue. Just keep working. Keep trying till you get visually what you're looking for.
Super, super. Well, do you have any other exhibits, venues currently that we'd like to talk about and people could come and see firsthand?
The only one that's coming up that's for sure in the books and ready to go is the building across the street from the the old train station here in town. I'm painting a raccoon and a coyote being chased by a train, all in neon colors. So it's going to really pop off that wall.
Great, I can imagine. Now that's in town of the Sedalia, Missouri?
Sedalia, Missouri.
Okay, very good. Well, Paul, we're just about out of time. Do you have any closing words for the viewers worldwide? Maybe a personal message for those beginning artists or the art community, someone that maybe is stuck, want a new project to take on?
I guess my biggest message would be when I was growing up, everybody told me that my art would never make it, and I didn't listen. So I would suggest don't listen to what people tell you. You can make your art whatever you want it to be. Just gotta practice and love what you do.
Excellent. Well said, well said. I agree 100%. Your art is your art. It's from your heart, your passion. So don't worry about what anyone else says. Those critics, we just call them haters sometimes, I guess. Well, I want to thank you once again for contributing to Spotlight on the Arts. It's been an educational, informational experience. So thank you very much for being with me today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, sir. Oh, I want to say this wraps up another great artist here in Central Missouri, Paul Woronecki, and another view into the world of art here on Spotlight on the Arts. So thank you, viewers, for watching. I want to thank Raquel Woronecki on camera today, filling in. and appreciate that really so much. So thank you, viewers, for watching. Don't forget to tune in to watch this on YouTube and also on the new GMN Plus streaming network that I'm now presenting a lot of the artists on. And to finalize things, I just want to say stay healthy and safe. Rick J saying, see you next time. The paintings of Douglas Freed exist between representation and abstraction in a realm that few other painters can really call their own. For over 20 years, Freed painted entirely abstractly, but over time he began to see references of landscapes in his abstractions. Gradually, Freed began to incorporate aspects of the landscape, such as times of day and light, in a depict or triptych painted form. Most recently, the multi-panel paintings, as you'll see throughout the program, have transitioned into a single canvas as Freed continues to explore the transcendence of nature through a synthesis of visual experience. The passage of time, light, color, and atmosphere. Freed's paintings continue to evolve in his search for an abstract means to embrace that ambiguity of the physical and spiritual experience of light and its power to foster a more intense life of the spirit through profound emotional experience of form, color, and composition. Well, welcome. So please share a little bit about Ron Emig. If you would look at the camera and talk to our viewers out there worldwide and give them a little bit of a picture.
I was born and raised in St. Louis, but lived in this area since '86. Have 2 children and 2 grandchildren, and I've been involved with art all my life, basically, since I could hold a pencil.
Oh, excellent.
Always been drawing horses and cowboys, and that's what I do today.
Well, you know, he was with us last November, the 10th of 2020, right in the middle of that old COVID thing going on, as we could call it. And you spoke of a project that you were working on, and promised to bring us up to date on that project at the completion or some close to that time frame. So I'd like to turn it over to you and ask you to share with us the exciting project that we see behind us and in its finished state. So Gary, let us know how this project come about for those that wasn't with us on November 10th.
Okay, well, I'm part of a group from Kansas City called Artist Inc., INC, like Incorporated.
I see.
And their first class usually has to do with business and how to do your taxes and all those art-related things that are business-like. And then the advanced project, which I just finished, is a one-year project for artists of all kinds. So that could be musicians, writers, filmmakers, painters in my case. And so I had set out to do a very large installation type piece.
Artist of the Year.
Hello, folks. How you doing tonight? I'm Jeremy Cash, and so I'm gonna do my song I always do at every show, Folsom Prison Blues. I hear a train a-comin'.
I'd like to take a minute to share a piece of work that I just completed. I've been painting now professionally for about 50 years. And in that 50-year period of time, I don't know that I've actually done a piece of work for myself. This one I did for myself. This is a piece of work dedicated to the history of law enforcement.